p.m. It's 4 p.m.
That's the preacher East Germany. So there was a bunch of Americans, because the wife is American, and they came to preach here in the castle, and he had 3 points. Those Corey always started. The first point was.
Oh, did you start it?
The first point, and he's starting at the podium.
Did you start it?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Second, then the third point was still very long, and it was all like,
No.
and the third point.
That's the voice of God.
Pickles?
Pickles.
Pickles.
Pickles in
Pickles in the pickle.
Elon Musk became the savior.
Don't you know what a pickle is? Not a pimple. Two different. It's just a nice pickled gherkin. Very important. Okay, to be tested on. So while they're talking, I just wanted to respond to something before I will pray and we continue. There was a question that was raised during the coffee break, and I thought it's actually good that I just spend 2-3 minutes about it here. You're back already, so
You can do your thing.
the question, we don't need translation. Just do we need translation for everything? No. Okay, for the question, let's not do translation.
It wasn't that important.
The question was, can you ask the question again? If God, the first question that you talked about, God is so holy, why do we have the...
So I asked the question, why can you say to be in front of God because God is so holy? Because you said that the Hebrew word ha-Satan or something, this mean, what's
the accuser.
Yeah, to accuse someone. So do you think Satan can just be in the
presence of God
because he wants to accuse somebody? Or
And the second question?
I forgot.
Okay, the second question is, which is the one I wanted actually to answer. I can remember it. Just give me a second. That was the one that had something to do with the rest of the lecture. Yes. Does God give bad things to what? Because can you ask me?
Yeah, because he said you said that good things and bad things are like a present for someone. So how can God give bad things to the person because God is just good?
Yes. Both enjoy the good and the bad things together. They are a rich gift from God. So her question is, how can God give bad things to people? Now remember, first to clarify very much, I said those were the words of the critic. So it's not theology, but these are his words. But to the question itself, let me say one or two things about it. It's that it leads us to certain theological questions we don't need to discuss here at all, like the presence of evil. Did God create evil? And blah, blah, blah. We saw in the Bible several times many passages that says he is a good father who gives good gifts to people. We sing good, good father all the time. It comes from that theology. And we saw also in the Bible, I think it's John the Elder who says, when you face trial, do not say God tries me, or James, one of them, either John the Elder or James. He said, do not say that God tempts, because God cannot tempt anyone, right? And so on and so forth. God gives only good gifts to his children. So does he give bad gifts to his children? Because the critic is saying, hey, take both good and bad as a rich gift from God. These are two very complex questions that she asked, because it leads to questions that are discussed in theology schools, actually. They go deeper than just that frame. One thing we have to put in mind is Greek versus Hebrew thinking. Very important, especially in this week of wisdom literature. We cannot underestimate the fact that we think very Greek, because the Western culture is coming out of a Greek history, or it taps a lot from the Greek culture. So we think in a very Greek way, which is what is called conventional view of morality. Conventional view of morality is we put things all in a linear way. Do good and good things happen to you. Do bad, bad things happen to you. And then why would God then give? We're looking for cause and effect. We're looking for answers to things. Now, Hebrew thinking, if Greek thinking, now I didn't want to talk about wisdom literature today. I thought you guys covered it. But if Greeks are thinking like this, you know, cause and effect. So there is a cause, there is an effect. And then it goes linear. You know how Hebrew thinking is? Hebrew thinking is like this. It just goes around. You cannot, it's like pebble. You cannot capture it in your hands. Because when you add the spiritual aspect to it, it goes beyond rational. There are even questions you cannot even ask in Hebrew thinking because the question doesn't exist. What I'm saying is also confusing, but that's how it is. There are questions you don't even ask in Hebrew thinking. Like, okay, if God gives good gifts, if we get this bad thing and I'm a child of God, why am I getting this bad one? If I'm a child of God, I should get good gifts because God gives good gifts. It's complex. Now look at the book of Job. What happened? There was a council that was happening in the beginning. Job was sitting, he doesn't know the origin of his struggles. But bad things happened to him. Was it God that gave him the bad things? What happened to Job? Was it God that gave him those bad things? He had bad gifts. Was it from God? No, it wasn't from God actually. Those bad stuff were as a result of a conversation that was happening sort of in a courtroom scenario, where there was an accusation that someone brought in, just like that, out of the blue. And then that had to be sorted out. So there are things happening in God's space that we do not see, but it influences our lives. God never gave him the gift, but God permitted the bad things to happen. It makes a total difference. God allows things to happen, not necessarily that he gave you. He allows them to happen because of several reasons we don't know. To glorify his name, to, who was it that died and then it was to glorify God's name? Lazarus, I think it was Lazarus, right? That happened to glorify the name of God or something like that, or it's used to glorify the name of God because the poor guy shouldn't have died or something. God allows certain things to happen, not necessarily that he gives them to you. God will not tempt you, but he allows things to happen to you, but he will not he always gives you the strength to handle it. And like with the case of Job, Job had the strength to handle it. And at the end he was blessed. Multiple. Right? So, again, should we take bad things from God, as the teacher said, take the bad things and the good things from God? The direct answer to that would be, I don't think God gives us bad things. If I would answer it, I told her, first of all, I cannot give you a conclusive answer. These are really technical, theological questions you have to wrestle with God yourself. But one thing I know from Scripture is that he lets it happen for many reasons. And the lesson we learn from the book of Job is that at the end of the day, the goal is that you meet God. At the end of the day, God wants you, again, like the message in Ecclesiastes, fear the Lord, keep his commandments. Like the message in Proverbs, like all the wisdom literature. The goal is that you meet God and apply his wisdom to your life. That's why some things happen, you cannot know their causes. The question of evil, I'm not going to attempt it so much. Why is it that even when God appeared to the Israelites, he was so holy that they couldn't stand his presence, but the devil can be in the presence of God? That's a very technical question. Because we have to go back to... we can talk about it privately. I don't know all the answers to that question. I have to be honest with you. I don't have all the answers. I can attempt to tell you based on what we see in the whole context of Scripture, that we see and also the way Hebrews think. The Jews, they think the role of ha-Satan is just to accuse. It's just like in a courtroom. I was giving an example. Maybe there is someone who just hits the bar. Order! Order! Keep quiet, everyone. Sit down. Order! That's just his role. He comes, he does that. It does not mean that he is the one doing the judgment or not. That's just his role. The Satan, the accuser, his role is just to look and accuse for the justice system to be complete. That's how the Hebrews think of it. Okay, we are not Jews, so as Christians, what do we make of it? How would God allow the devil? Who is the devil? Who is the devil and the accuser, ha-Satan, and all these things? We need to talk about that in private. But I believe that this is someone who was part of God's justice system. I believe that the devil, God pushed him to the bottomless pit under lock and key. And then in Revelation it says, and he will be released for a time to torment believers. If you're a millennial, then maybe you're waiting for the devil to be released at some point to torment. If you're not a millennial, then you believe the devil is here tormenting us. And then at the second coming of Jesus, he's going to permanently put away. Whichever one you want to take, we can discuss. Let me not confuse you more. Okay, let's move back to Ecclesiastes.
Okay, kommen wir zurück zu Prediger.
Just to put that out. Any questions so far also about the content of the book which we discussed?
Habt ihr Fragen zu dem, was wir bisher über den Inhalt von Prediger gesagt haben?
The content we discussed, like the overview of the book.
Das, was wir zum Überblick über das Buch gesagt haben.
Well, even if you don't get anything from the lectures, just that overview that I did, that should be your navigation as to what we're doing. Because now I'm just going to talk about the book in topics, just little parts and pieces.
Ich hoffe, dass dieser Überblick über die Weisheitsbücher euch hilft, euch damit zurechtzufinden. Und jetzt wollen wir uns noch so ein paar Themen anschauen aus Prediger.
Terminology and authorship.
Ein bisschen was zu den Begriffen und zur Verfasserschaft.
I'll just drop one or two words about that. Ecclesiastes, like I said, I already talked about this. This is a Hebrew title to the book, Kohelet.
Ein bisschen was habe ich schon dazu gesagt. Kohelet ist der hebräische Titel.
And I told you that word is a bit difficult to capture in Western nuance.
Etwas, was für uns ein bisschen schwierig in unsere Sprache zu übersetzen ist.
It means the one who gathers an assembly.
Es ist der versammelt, der in die Versammlung ruft.
The preacher, according to Luther.
Luther hat es auf Deutsch übersetzt als der Prediger.
We know that is referring to that's what the author of the book is talking about, this guy.
Aber es handelt sich im Prinzip darum, wie der Autor diesen Kritiker benennt.
Okay, so there is not much about the name.
Also es geht aber nicht eigentlich darum, um diesen Begriff selbst.
The word Ecclesiastes in itself comes from the Septuagint, ecclesia. In my language in Nigeria also we call it ecclesia. It's a common name in many languages.
Und das Wort Ekklesiastes kommt dann aus der Septuaginta, das ist also die griechische Übersetzung von Kohelet. Und auch in meiner Sprache gibt es dieses Wort Ekklesia.
And that's congregation.
Und das heißt die Versammlung.
The kahal in Hebrew is an assembly, meaning all the same thing.
So eben dieses Kahal auf Hebräisch, diese Versammlung.
We don't know who wrote that book.
Wir wissen nicht, wer es war, der das Buch geschrieben hat.
Or who is he, that preacher?
Oder wer ist dieser Prediger, dieser Lehrer?
In chapter 1, verse 1, let's look at that.
Aber schauen wir uns kurz den ersten Vers an, in Kapitel 1.
We saw something that might give us a hint.
Da sehen wir was uns einen Hinweis geben könnte.
That's something we need to discuss.
Und was wir kurz
These are the words of the teacher.
Das sind die Worte des Lehrers,
King David's son who ruled in Jerusalem.
des Sohnes des Königs David, der in Jerusalem herrschte.
The author seemed to pattern himself after Solomon.
Es scheint, dass der Autor sich hier auf Salomo bezieht.
The name Solomon doesn't appear in the original text.
Auch wenn der Name Salomo nicht im ursprünglichen Text erscheint.
But translators like Luther added Solomon the preacher.
Aber Übersetzer wie Luther haben dann in den Titel den Namen
In the
Salomo
title.
aufgenommen. So der Prediger Salomo.
That's a conclusion.
Das ist aber eine Interpretation,
Yeah, it's an interpretation.
was er geschlussfolgert hat.
Okay, but in the original text we don't see that.
Salomo taucht aber nicht im Originaltext.
Why do they do that?
Warum ist er zu dem Schluss gekommen?
Because every single thing about this book just talks about the life of Solomon.
Weil es irgendwie überall in dem Buch um Salomos Leben zu gehen scheint.
It leaves us with no choice but to think that's Solomon.
Irgendwie können wir gar nicht wirklich anders als zu denken, das müsste Salomo sein.
If you take Solomon to be the author, then it's generally seen as this is his confessions after he turned against God.
Und das würde man dann so verstehen, das ist, was Salomo am Ende seines Lebens bekennt, nachdem er sich so von Gott entfernt hatte.
But of course, how would someone who turned against God want to write a book of the Bible?
Aber wie kann es sein, dass jemand in seinem Leben, der sich so von Gott abgewandt hat, dann ein Bibelbuch schreibt?
That's one critique that some people say that might not be Solomon.
Deswegen denken manche Leute, ja, vielleicht ist es also nicht Salomo.
The second thing against Solomon authorship
Und was noch ein Argument gegen die Verfasserschaft von Salomo
is
wäre,
that then it doesn't make sense because the book doesn't seem to be a confession from this guy.
das Buch scheint ja nicht so sehr ein Bekenntnis zu sein von diesem
He just
Prediger,
said what he thinks.
sondern er sagt einfach, was er denkt über das Leben.
He didn't confess anything.
Es ist nicht so, es hört sich nicht an wie ein Bekenntnis.
It doesn't look like he's sorry
Es scheint nicht, dass ihm das irgendwie leid tut,
in that book.
so wie er das in dem Buch beschrieben hat.
Most interpreters say that although the persona of Solomon is used, but it is someone else who is using the figure of Solomon to talk about his own experience.
Die meisten Bibelausleger sagen deshalb, dass es nicht von Salomo selbst geschrieben wurde, sondern dass jemand diese Person Salomos benutzt, um anhand von Salomo seine eigenen Erfahrungen im Leben zu zeigen.
In chapter 7, verse 27,
In Kapitel 7, Vers 27,
this is my conclusion, says the teacher. I discovered this after looking at the matter from every possible angle.
da heißt es, ich bin zu einem Schluss gekommen, sagt der Lehrer, ich habe alle meine Erfahrungen zusammengetragen und konnte so zu einem sicheren Urteil finden.
Also, this is now in first person, the person who is speaking in there.
Da spricht jemand in der ersten Person.
And in 1 verse 1, we see a third person. Is someone talking about another person?
Wohingegen in Kapitel 1, Vers 1 dieser Sprecher in der dritten Person beschrieben wird.
These are the words of Solomon,
Das sind,
of King David's son, the teacher King David's son.
das sind die Worte des Lehrers, des Sohnes des Königs David, der in Jerusalem herrscht.
So that's where I told you we have two voices in the book.
Deswegen sage ich, haben wir da zwei verschiedene Stimmen, zwei verschiedene Sprecher in dem Buch.
The guy who summarizes the whole thing,
Der Autor, der alles am Schluss zusammenfasst,
and the person who is in play.
und dieser Lehrer, der in dem Buch spricht.
But in any case, with all the confusion of authorship, the person presents himself as Solomon.
Aber dieser Person, die da spricht, die spricht selbst als Salomo.
In the end, I don't think it makes a huge difference what conclusion you draw to this authorship of the book.
Am Ende denke ich, ist es nicht so entscheidend, ob man denkt, ja, das war wirklich Salomo oder nicht, was du da für dich denkst.
But the message is just so clear.
Denn die Botschaft darin ist so oder so echt klar.
So we don't need to get stuck on authorship.
Deswegen ist die Autorenschaft da echt nicht so entscheidend, dass wir dem Thema festhängen.
Whether it's Solomon or not.
Ob das tatsächlich Salomo ist oder jemand, der so tut, als ob.
What is his point of view?
Was ist seine Sichtweise?
That's another part I want to talk about.
Das ist etwas, was ich noch mit euch besprechen möchte.
Is the critic a pessimist?
Ist dieser Kritiker ein Pessimist?
We've looked at repeated themes in the. What are some of the repeated themes that you found in the book?
Was sind ein paar von den Themen, die immer wieder auftauchen in dem Buch?
Repeated themes, just name them. There were many of them.
Life is meaningless.
Life is meaningless, yes, meaningless.
Das Leben ist sinnlos.
There's an emphasis on death.
Death, there's an emphasis on death, yes.
Es liegt eine Betonung auf dem Tod.
Lack of control. Lack of control.
Lack of control, yes, you cannot control it anyways.
Dass wir keine Kontrolle haben über das Leben.
Chaos.
Chaos.
What has been will be.
What I mean will be.
Was bisher passiert ist.
It has always
weiterhin
been like this.
geschehen. Das Leben war schon immer so.
There is nothing new under the sun.
Es gibt nichts Neues auf der Welt. Es gibt nichts Neues unter der Sonne.
All these repeated themes kind of. If we're looking at his point of view, he seems to be a pessimist about life.
Diese ganzen wiederholten Themen, wenn wir uns das so anschauen, es scheint, dass der Typ echt ein Pessimist ist, was das Leben angeht.
But this particular repeated theme of Hevel, on meaninglessness, as the translators put it to be,
Aber dieses eine Thema, das Hevel, oder wie das auch oft übersetzt wird, diese Sinnlosigkeit,
it makes this book not fit with the general theology of the Bible, does it?
das passt nicht so recht zur allgemeinen Theologie der Bibel, oder?
It doesn't take a positive view of life as God's gift to us.
Im Endeffekt spricht daraus nicht eine positive Sicht auf das Leben als Gottes Geschenk für uns.
Of course, this is wisdom literature. It's not direct. What is the opposite of wisdom literature? It's not a
Clear life instruction.
some Old Testament theology or something like that.
Natürlich, das ist Weisheitsliteratur, die ist
A sermon.
ein
in a
bisschen
sense.
indirekt. Es ist nicht direkt eine Predigt, die dir sagt, wie du dein Leben zu leben
But
hast.
still, the book seems, the point of view of the critic seems to make it difficult for us to interpret the book.
Und diese Perspektive des Kritikers führt dazu, dass wir es schwer darin haben, das Buch richtig auszulegen.
I give you an example, like when he said, humans, all humans go to the same place.
Als Beispiel, wenn er sagt, alle Menschen enden auf dieselbe Weise, enden am selben Ort.
Pretty much the rest of the Bible doesn't say it that way.
Der Rest der Bibel würde das nicht so ausdrücken.
It makes it, if you read directly, it makes it difficult to interpret.
Wenn wir das also so direkt als bare Münze nehmen, tun wir es schwer damit, das richtig
Even goes
auszulegen.
as far as saying, even with animals, we have the same destiny.
Wo er so weit geht, dass er sagt, ja, wir teilen dasselbe Schicksal wie die Tiere.
So his point of view generally, like I said later, I told you later I'm going to clarify, the point of view of the critic, do not take it as direct theology.
Und deshalb ist es wichtig, ich hatte das ja erwähnt, nimmt die Sichtweise des Kritikers nicht direkt als biblische Theologie.
Because you got to look at it in the context of Hebrew wisdom.
Sondern wir müssen es betrachten im Zusammenhang mit jüdischer oder mit biblischer Weisheit.
When he stops at our destiny is all the same place, we're all dying.
Wenn er also zum Schluss kommt, ja, wir teilen alle dasselbe Schicksal, dass wir mal sterben werden,
You have to also keep it there and say, okay, he's only talking about the point of death in itself.
dann müssen wir darin verstehen, okay, er spricht nur über den Zeitpunkt des Todes selbst.
Because, yeah, when people die, animals die, it's true.
Es stimmt ja. Menschen sterben, alle.
I don't want to say
sterben.
all people will die, because not all people die and will die.
Gut, ich würde vielleicht sagen, nicht alle Menschen werden sterben.
Right? So, you got to keep it there and know that our own perspective is that after death there is something.
Soweit, so gut. Aber unsere Perspektive ist jetzt, dass es nach diesem Tod noch was weiteres gibt.
He's talking about death and not heaven or hell.
Er spricht von dem menschlichen, natürlichen Tod, nicht von Hölle oder Himmel.
Therefore, his perspective is very pessimistic about life here on earth.
Und deswegen ist seine Perspektive so pessimistisch, weil er sich nur das Leben hier auf der Erde anschaut.
But it has nothing to do with the afterlife.
Und es ist nichts nach dem, was nach dem Tod kommt, beschreibt.
He said some things, yes, but that's not where he's basing his story.
Ein bisschen was sagt er auch darüber, aber das ist eigentlich nicht das, was er betrachtet in seinen Worten.
Again, I encourage you, as you read the book, take this guy's perspective.
Und so möchte ich euch ermutigen, wenn ihr das Buch anschaut, dann nehmt die Perspektive von dem Autoren,
As theology.
die können wir als Theologie ansehen.
And this guy was just used by this guy.
Und die Sichtweise von dem Kritiker, die benutzt der Autor.
He had a lot of truth in what he's saying.
Da gibt es schon viel Wahres drin.
A lot of the things he said, they make sense.
Vieles von dem, was der Kritiker sagt, das erscheint uns, aber das ist auch wirklich sinnvoll.
I'm going to talk about some of them, like life under the sun, chasing after wind, etc.
Manches davon werde ich noch ansprechen, wie das Leben unter der Sonne oder das Nachjagen nach dem Wind.
But the totality of it doesn't make up for biblical theology.
Aber nicht alles oder nicht das Gesamte, was der Kritiker sagt, ist wirklich korrekte biblische Theologie.
Do you understand that? The critic doesn't give us complete biblical theology. The author ties it together.
Der Kritiker gibt uns nicht komplette biblische Wahrheit, sondern der Autor dann, der bringt das dann richtig zusammen am Ende.
Okay. The expressions in the book, so I'm just jumping through topics, then you tie the book together for yourself. I tied it at the beginning, but you can tie it.
Ich habe euch jetzt also einen Zusammenhang gezeigt in dem Buch und jetzt möchte ich so ein paar verschiedene Themen anreißen.
The two significant expressions in the book.
Zwei wichtige Ausdrücke im Buch.
One is hevel.
Eines ist Heaven.
We've talked a lot about it.
Darüber haben wir schon ziemlich viel gesagt.
We don't need to add more about it.
Ich glaube, da müssen wir nicht noch mehr dazu fügen.
I told you that he's just trying to talk about the life being, confusing.
Da geht es darum, dass das Leben verwirrend ist,
Uncontrollable.
unkontrollierbar.
And in the midst of the, fog, you cannot really see clearly.
Und dass man inmitten von dem Nebel, von dem Rauch nicht klar sehen kann.
And that's a very important expression.
Und das ist ein wichtiger Ausdruck,
Because it has truth in it.
denn da ist einiges an Wahrheit drin.
But you see, he doesn't go further than that.
Aber er geht nicht weiter durch.
Okay.
Da wurde ein paar Mal gesucht, aber nicht einer, der hier ist.
Is anyone done here?
No.
That we don't know? Jonas? Okay, then.
Let's see the
It's a lady.
Let's see the child first.
The dad is not here. Okay, so again, he stops. Was he? Just checking. I mean,
If it's your child, you know, okay, you
Let's
know.
look for the child.
again, the guy is trying to give us his own take on life.
Der Typ will uns also seine eigenen Betrachtung des Lebens rüberbringen.
And what he says makes sense if we're in the midst of chaos in our lives.
Und das ist etwas, was echt so ist, was wir echt so erleben, wenn wir gerade in einer Situation sind, wo das Leben echt
And this is what I love about wisdom literature, Psalms, Proverbs, and Job.
Und das liebe ich an der Weisheitsliteratur, wie die Psalmen, die Sprüche, Hiob und so weiter.
Because they teach, we identify with them because we go through those things.
Wir identifizieren uns mit dem, was wir da lesen, weil wir selbst durch solche Momente durchgehen.
And when you are in the midst of that, these are the books that speak to you most.
Und wenn du dich gerade in so einer Situation befindest, dann sind es die Bücher, die am meisten zu dir sprechen.
You know, the Psalms, how wonderful it is.
Die Psalmen, wie wunderbar es ist.
God,